Welcome to the Franchise Woman Podcast, where passion and purpose collide, profits are made, and relationships forged. I'm Rebecca Monet, CEO and Chief Scientist at Zoracle Profiles, along with my co-host, community advocate, speaker, author, and entrepreneur, Tracy Kawa. Our special guest today is Nicole Michelle Durio of Madison Brothers Consulting Group. Nicole has more than 25 years of experience in accounting, financial reporting, advisory services, business consulting, CFO services, and internal and external auditing. When Nicole was laid off from her job as an executive director with an international public accounting firm earning a multiple six-figure income, she did a great deal of soul searching. A tough leader of money and finance, she decided to merge her love and knowledge of economics to her ministry. As a result, Nicole has mentored over 250 women to six-figure income status, and she's on track to propel 25 women to seven-figure incomes in the next 5 years. Nicole, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you, Tracy, for having me. We are so excited to be joining you today.
Yeah, we're excited to have you. Tell me something. You went from this mega accounting firm to basically being an entrepreneur in your own business. What was that time frame like, and what was that pivot like for you?
Tracy, to be fully honest and transparent, I was feeling a lot of different emotions. Of course, being a woman, we're emotional. So just the hurt, the rejection, the feeling of loss, and the consistency, no doubt was overwhelming for me, right? But at the same time, I know who I was and what was inside of me. And I thought, you know what? I can still win. My father always taught me when life gives you lemons, then you just make lemonade. So I decided I'd make lemonade, pink lemonade, strawberry lemonade, raspberry lemonade. So whatever it needed to be in order for me to succeed or win, then that's what it became.
Wow.
What a great attitude, right? And of course, I love lemonade, so we're on the right track. So you went through this process, but I'm guessing it's not easy, especially when you are with one of the biggest accounting and consulting firms in the world. To now having to brand yourself, put yourself out there. Tell us about that process of how you were able to mentally shift and how you chose your name and how you got out there. And this is who I am, Nicole, I can help you kind of person.
Yes. So let me give you a backdrop, Rebecca and Tracy. It was like opening a food truck hamburger stand next door to McDonald's, right? It's like, oh my God, I have this 800-pound gorilla to my left. What do I do? So I started thinking, one thing that I know is my name means victory, which is number one. And your significance is in your difference. It's not what you do like someone else. It's what you do differently. So I started thinking about difference, significance, a competitive edge, a competitive advantage. And so I started just building on what I knew, being a problem solver. What keeps you up at night? So I went under the mantra of letting my clients sleep at night while I stayed up and thought about their problems. And that's where it started. And even today on our website, we have that challenges keep business owners up at night. Let us give you comfort and peace of mind while we make tailor-made solutions for you.
Wow. I love that your significance is in your difference.
Yes.
Tell us more about that. Dive deep into that. That is so delicious.
It is delicious.
So your significance in your difference, right? Whenever you want to revolutionize or change something, you have to start out with one, there has to be a need, and then there has to be a difference, right? So when you think about Uber revolutionized the taxi cab industry, right? You get in sleazy cabs in New York City, they smell that, they curse, they didn't care about the service. So what did they do? They brought service and appeal to transportation, something that was the underdog, right? And so one of the things that I did is I just got in the fight with my clients. Whatever problem they had, whatever issue they had, I always treated it like it was my own. When I'm giving tax advice, I treat it like as if it's my own. Because sometimes people give people advice that they would not take themselves.
Mhm.
To me, that's a disservice. Why would I tell you to do something that I would not do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I had walked in so many shoes being in corporate for so long and working on Wall Street and working in 15 different countries. I saw so many things. So I thought, how can I leverage that experience? How can I make this make sense? And I got in the roller coaster in the front row seat and put on my seatbelt, and we're still riding.
Nice.
Yay. You have incredible positive energy. And I know being a business owner is like a roller coaster, as you described. And the folks that you're helping are also business owners who have gone through roller coasters, and your job being to remove some of that craziness and create some peace of mind while they sleep and you're working behind the scenes. But I guess my question is, how in the world did you get this positive mental attitude? What was the background of all of it?
So this is going to be surprising to you, but it'll help you understand why I'm resistant to social media. I went to a convention in St. Louis, Missouri in 2008, and there was a couple on stage that spoke about a mental fast. No TV, no radio for 30 days. I did no TV, no radio, and it's literally been forever, like since 2008. The only thing I watch on TV may be news, movie, or sports. Because what I know about television is someone else creating their vision. I
Mhm.
don't know if that information is true. I don't know if it's factually accurate because I'm a CPA. You have to trust but verify. If I can't verify the information, I can't believe it.
I like that attitude because I'm thinking I was raised with no TV and no radio.
Mhm.
And I do believe it's allowed me to be in reality rather than living somebody's fantasy on a show
Mhm.
or a movie, or into the negativity, especially in today's world. And I know someone that's a good friend of mine who spends hours a day digging into all the negative things that are happening in the world, and she suffers depression. And I'm like, I don't have depression, and I think a lot of it is just what you have mentioned is having a fast from all these outside influences that aren't real. They're not verifiable. They're not my life, right? And
Mhm.
you have control of your own life. That's
Right.
right.
Right. Right. Rebecca and Tracy, you know how I learn about major news? Is when I'm on the elevator. You know, they have the screens on the elevator. And
Yeah.
I'm like, hopefully, if it's something I need to know, I see it on there. I'm talking about it's been hurricanes and tornadoes, and people are talking, and I'm like, well, let me get my phone and see what they're talking about. Because I have no idea. Like, that is not my reality. I have my world. I want to keep it sanitized. I want to keep it positive. I want to keep it upbeat. And that's just the way that I do. I haven't lost out on anything. Sometimes I'm late on information, but I usually find out within 48 hours. Or now my husband will tell me, but other than that, it's kind of like I can't sit there and watch the news because I don't know what's authentic and what's not.
I
Yeah.
love that. I've heard of physical fasts. I've heard of um, financial fasts, but I never heard of a mental fast.
Mental
I'm
fast,
still
media fast,
processing that
that
one.
is so important. I mean, Rebecca and Tracy, I schedule time to think. Like I go sit out my fountain, I'm hearing the water drip. Sometimes I take a tablet, sometimes I don't. I leave my phone and I just think. And amazing and incredible thoughts come to mind. And I jot them down and I write them down. And whatever works for me. Those are the philosophies I live by. And all of these women that I've mentored, they all get the same thing. They all get the same philosophies. They all get the same statements. And I have not changed. And I like that about me. I adjust, right? Hear what I say? I adjust, but I do not change.
Which I think things like the COVID pandemic has forced us to be more flexible and adjust. But it sounds like what you're teaching and what you're living by example is to stay present, stay in reality, verify, don't get caught up in all this out here, do what you need to do. If there's lemons, we're going to make lemonade, and we stay sort of positive. I want to ask you, it almost sounds like something is undercurrent is driving you. If there was a theme or a belief system or something that takes you from one situation to another through your life, could you describe what that theme is or that belief system is?
Gratitude.
Wow.
Gratitude is the seed for more. What silver lining, what lesson, what outcome, what positivity can I find in this? So I'll give you an example. September 11, 2001, over 3,000 people were killed, 3,000 Americans. Horrible, horrible, horrific thing. But what many people don't know is that the occupancy in both of the trade centers was over 100,000.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Did you imagine 100,000 people on one day? I mean, we may have never recovered from that, right? So that's something that's simple. Such a tragedy, such a heartbreak. But you know what? At the end of the day, it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah.
That's a great point. And I never heard that before. I've got a question for you. So you're very energetic. You're so confident. You've got this great belief system. So if somebody was to say, who are you at your core? Right? Well, how would you describe yourself? Who would you be?
I'm a winner.
Who are you?
I'm a winner. I'm a champion. I mean, winners do not make excuses. Successful entrepreneurs try and fail more than the failing person even tries.
I'm a winner. You know what? As soon as you said
winners find a way. They find a way, they make a way, they create a way, but they don't stay away.
So I love boxing. And when you
I have some hot pink boxing gloves.
Oh, do you?
I like to box. Oh yeah, to relieve stress, those hot pink boxing gloves. Oh, they are fire.
That is great. When I listen to the interviews, the winners believe in themselves. The winners are confident and they know they're winners and they're not afraid to say it. They graciously acknowledge their opponents, but they're not afraid to say it. And my mind went right to that just when you just said, I'm a winner.
So remember earlier I was talking about spin and posturing. My philosophy is I don't lose. I either win or I learn. I don't lose. I win or I learn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so interesting because I'm trying that on, girls. I'm trying that on.
You gotta wear the winner's cap. You gotta wear the gold medal. You gotta put it on, Rebecca.
Yeah, almost you have to envision yourself in the future having won whatever that is, won that client, won that award, whatever it is. But that idea of putting on, I'm a winner, and I'm always learning to become more of a winner. That's an incredible, like you said, posturing. I'm one of those people, I got to tell you, Nicole, if I don't think I can do something well,
I won't do it at all.
That's me too. That's me too. I'm going to take.
But you have to start embracing it so that you can grow. And what I realized about myself is being a winner and wanting to go so hard and execute so perfectly, I was limiting the growth of who I was in my brand. I have to extend out. I have to train more people. I have to recruit. I have to build. So that was something that I started focusing on. And it's been a challenge, but I said, you know what? I'm going to get out of my comfort zone because look, I've done so well doing it the way I thought it should be. Well, then let's kind of pivot the thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Because the thing I know now is that I'll be 50 next year. I don't want to work till I'm 60, 70, or 80. And I love Warren Buffett, but I don't want anybody calling me when I'm in my 90s. I don't.
Gonna
I
be.
don't want that. I want to be on the beach somewhere, listening to the waves,
Yeah,
writing in my notebook.
I love this. Yeah, I'm similar in terms of I don't take something on if I don't think I can do it really well and be number one. But you're living it in every area of your lives. I'm wondering, is this mental attitude that you have, and it's caused you to be who you are, how do you teach your clients, your accounting clients, your consulting clients, to take on a similar attitude? Because entrepreneuring, running a business is difficult, and it does require a certain mental or just mindset, right? So how do you do that? Is it a process of hand holding? Is it a process of knocking them over the head with a 2x4? What do we
I
do?
don't do that. No. I don't do that. I don't do that. But one of the things I do is the consistency and not changing. And what I tell people is you have to live intentional.
Mm-hmm.
Have to live intentional. I have on this green suit today on purpose. Green is the color of abundance. So I told you have to live intentional. Listen to this. If you go through life casually, you will become a casualty.
Oh,
You have to live on purpose. I don't do anything that is not on purpose. If I have to level up, if I'm stressed, I literally, when I'm in a mental mode of I gotta sharpen what I'm thinking, I gotta go it alone. Because one thing I always tell people is right can stand alone, wrong needs co-signers. So I have to level up. I wear camouflage because I'm in battle mode. I'm fighting for my mind, I'm fighting for the next level. So I don't do anything that is not on purpose, that is not intentional. You have to live intentionally. You have to know what you're getting up to do. You have to plan your success. You have to plan your goals. You have to write it down. Most people don't reach their goals because it's not written down anywhere. So the universe doesn't know what to do.
mm-hmm.
So it's just spinning around, waiting and waiting and waiting.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're sitting around waiting on the next phone call, waiting on the next answer, waiting on the next lead. And you have to be up moving. Like this is a big deal. Like life is big. And I don't know when it's going to change. I don't know when it's going to be my last breath, but I want to make sure that I've done everything I was called, assigned, and commissioned to do.
Called,
interesting.
assigned, commissioned.
Yeah. I was going to ask you how that theory of, taking charge, taking life by the reins, how does that fit hand in hand with God's design and purpose for our lives and going with the flow and doing things in God's timing?
Yes. So in the Bible, Paul says, I make myself as all men that I might gain a few.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So remember, I said, I do not change, but I will adjust. So if I'm going into a new room, a new meeting, people I don't know that don't know me, I'm very quiet, I'm very subdued, I listen a lot. Because one thing you know about power, silence is golden. That's why it's in the movie. Silence is golden, silence is powerful. The person who speaks the least is the most powerful person in the room. That's why when you hear people, you're sitting around a table, women, men, egos, bantering, going back and forth. When they're tired and done and nothing has got accomplished, they'll look to their left or right to the most powerful man or woman in the room and say, what? I'll defer to you.
Mm-hmm.
And then the power speaks.
Yeah. I have a mentor that echoes exactly what you're saying. I've seen him run mega multi-billion-dollar companies internationally, and he's the quiet one. And then when everybody's puffed up and spoken, they turn to Doug.
And unproductive.
And unproductive, then they'll turn to Doug, and Doug will have it all wrapped up, and boom, boom. And whatever comes out of his mouth, you're taking notes. You're just taking notes. It's amazing. So I want to go back to the green idea. And green is also, as you mentioned, is abundance. Tell me what most people or some people believe about abundance, believe about money, and how your belief systems might be different than that, which is allowing you to help client after client after client have success while you have success. What's your belief around money?
Well, first of all, most people need a mindset wash. They need to rinse and wash, but they don't need to repeat. That's the first thing. The other thing is people mistake things they don't understand. So they say loving money, money is evil. No, it says the love of money, right? Because what does love make you do? Love makes you do things that are abnormal, that go beyond, right? So if I love money, now I'm going to lie, I'm going to cheat, I'm going to steal, I'm going to mistreat my brother, my sister, my parents. That's where the issue is. Money is a resource. Money is powerful. The Bible says it's he that gives the power to establish wealth for covenant with him. So people are not poor because there's no money. They're poor because they have no power.
Oh my gosh. This is a whole book. You know that, right, Nicole?
I've already written 4, but I can't write anymore. I'm tired.
Well, so then you need a ghostwriter, because this is powerful. Powerful. All right, I could talk about mindset and belief systems, because so much is at the root of that, and wealth or
And watch this. Watch this. You should always be in a position and open to learning and growth, right? My college roommate has a PhD. She is a superintendent. Some may or may not know when this airs, but I shared with her. I still call her roommate. She calls me roommate. I said, roommate, do you know what happened to you? She said, what? I said, you got your PhD and you stopped learning.
yeah. All these
You
degrees. But there's a
cannot
difference.
stop learning, because sometimes people feel like their credits and credentials, they have arrived. You have not arrived. As long as you're breathing, you have to keep going. You have to keep learning. You have to keep looking. You have to keep observing.
Yeah. I think there's also a distinct difference of wisdom and learning. Learning and knowledge will take us to a place of being wise with our money, with our business, with our relationships. But we forever do need to gain knowledge and gain learning.
Now, and let me share this with you, Rebecca and Tracy. One of the most powerful things I share with my clients, because just because you become my client doesn't mean you will stay my client. I terminate clients all the time. And it's mainly a lack of synergy or energy or not listening. So what I share with them is, if I'm going to be your consultant, your CPA, and your advisor, you have to tell me you're only going to listen to one voice. Mm-hmm. Do not come to me with water cooler and Google information. That is going to be a problem. And my clients know that. And the ones that have lost their seat, try to send other people back to get their seat. No, that seat is gone. Because I'm growing, I expect you to grow too. I can get more money all day long, but one thing I cannot buy is time.
Yeah.
Who is your ideal client?
I would say someone who is open to learning, mm-hmm. and that knows what they do not know. Everything for me is so simple. ABC, you go back to school, ABC. If you are a business owner, a contemplating business owner, if you don't have an attorney, a banker, and a certified public accountant on your team, you are doomed for failure. And you should not start if you're not willing to pay for those services. Many people make a mistake because they don't want to buy what's intangible, but it's what's intangible that's most valuable.
Mm-hmm.
When companies purchase other companies, the largest asset on the books is goodwill.
Mm-hmm.
You see a pencil, you buy a pencil. But you come to Nicole and she says she's $1,000 an hour. I'm not paying her $1,000 an hour. Well, then that's fine. Go and lose $10 billion. I don't care. What is your tolerance for a financial mistake? For some people, it's 10,000. For some people, it's 10 million. But you got to know what that tolerance area is. But I can't water down my rate and fee this knowledge and experience and information when you can go and make $1 million on what I tell you.
Yeah. Yeah. You hit something a little earlier that rang true as a business owner, around the idea of time, right? We can recoup some money, we can do this to make more money, but we cannot recoup time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And time, especially when it's combined with wisdom and experience and knowledge, is incredibly valuable. And it's almost, I don't know, maybe there is a financial formula to say this is what your time is worth, right? But I think it's a conversation that needs to happen, that it's not just money, it's time and the wise use of that time, which ultimately turns into greater cash flow.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you see, Nicole, as the top 1 or 2 or 3 mistakes business owners make?
They don't understand how to read and review financial statements.
Mm-hmm.
And they measure their success by the cash that's in the bank.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a very, very small indicator because there are so many things in the background, right? And I'll hear them often say, I don't know the numbers, my accountant does it. That's fine that your accountant does it, but they're your numbers. You still have to be accountable to the information and you have to understand. And that's what makes me so different. I educate my clients, listen, these are your numbers. If something happens, if I decide I don't want to do a tax return, I need you to understand what's in these numbers. Why have these numbers changed? This does not make sense. That does not make sense. And one of the things that my clients get, they're always going to get so much more. I mean, we talk about so much more than accounting, right? What to do with the kids. They threw this, they did that. I'm always advocating for the kids. I always say, give them some grace. That's a whole nother conversation about parenting. But anyway, so I think it's important. People don't want to be accountable for things they don't understand. But ignorance is not a defense. You still need to know. If you're a business owner, if you get a K1 and it is more than 50% ownership, you owe it to yourself and your business to understand those numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to look at them more than once a year.
Yeah.
Are you saying that people hide behind not knowing? In other words,
They use it as an excuse or a defense. Like winners don't do that. And excuse is a quick lie. Well, I don't know. Okay, well, you need to know.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I'm going to have to bill you when I go out to this franchise and see what's going on.
Yeah.
And the other thing too, they don't know, they don't want to know what they don't know. And they get tired of me saying, your manager, your cashier, your associate, they are stealing from you. They're stealing from you. 90% of people that embezzle from companies do not get prosecuted or go to jail because the owner is embarrassed. They are stealing from you. If you have multiple stores, you need a secret shopping program. You need to know what is going on when you're not there. But once again, people don't want to invest in services. This cup cost me a nickel. but I can't pay you $5,000 to go 2 days to look at this store in wherever. That is the wrong thing to do. Why
Yeah.
wouldn't you spend $10,000 to save $1 million?
Absolutely. Absolutely. But it is funny when I think about it. You know, we work with franchisors and thousands of franchisees. And I think on average, unless there's a background of education in money management, operations, finance, most are focused on bringing business in, not so much the managing of that money or making it truly work for you. So it's true. I see it all the time, Nicole, where if I have a bunch of money in the bank, who cares if I'm paying XYZ in taxes or my labor costs are 15% over average, you know, compared to the other franchisees in the organization. And yet it does matter. And our ignorance is a costly, costly thing if we don't pay attention. So learning this.
Tracy and Rebecca too, that franchisees do. Well, corporate won't let us do it. They'll hide behind that. Corporate won't let us do it. This is where we're supposed to do it. And I just believe in being a challenger of conventional thinking. If I had my dream job, I'd like to be a consultant to all the franchise owners because they're leaving so much money on the table.
Mm-hmm.
The revenue drives their royalties. You're leaving so much money on the table, but you see what's coming in the bank and you think you're doing well, but you can always do better.
Yeah.
And I don't care what you have. I don't think anyone should leave any money on the table.
I agree. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. I agree. We don't want to leave money on the table. And that is so for both the franchisee and the franchisor. If that franchisee isn't doing as well as he or she could, that turns into less royalties for our franchisor. So it's really.
And leakage, there's leakage. You know, I call it leakage or shrinkage when people steal product.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. All right. So we need to fall in love with our P&L statements, or at least
Or at least be willing enough to look at them, right? I have to meet with them, right? I have to love them, but at least meet with them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's interesting. I've been an entrepreneur my whole life, sold my last company in 2012, and I've had the same internal bookkeeper for many years. And every month I get the P&L statements, but I got to be honest, I am one of those people you're talking about. It's only been a handful of years where I study it and I go over it. And I know personally, I am probably missing a ton of things. So
a fresh look is always good.
A fresh look and outside eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I
and my fresh look analyses, I usually get to the answer in less than 3 minutes. And they're like, how in the heck did you do that?
Yeah.
I know where the bodies are.
Yeah. So
that's where the bodies are. I like it.
Yeah, me
That's
too.
good.
So before we close shop here, guys, I want to.
It's over. No.
I know. We can talk for 100 years.
We're not done. We got to talk about the children and family life.
Okay, let's talk about it. Talk about it. Let's talk about the children and family life and why understanding our finances is so important for those reasons and many, many more.
Yes. So one of the things as I talk about creating my reality, 4th of July, I always do something that's just weird or absurd. And so people say something crazy and I'll say, it's Independence Day. It's like independence. It's like financial independence day, you know, financial freedom. So if you're working in your business and not on your business, if you're working in your business instead of on your business, you can tell where you have leakage, where you can make more money. Because we trade dollars for time for dollars. So if I improve my bottom line and my top line, that frees me up from spending time with my significant others, the kids, and the family instead of saying, I got to go to work. The other thing as an entrepreneur is you need to have buy-in of the people who are around you, your support system. They may not work in the business, but that's who you see when you come home, when you're tired, when your feet hurt, when that employee hasn't frustrated you. So you have to have the buy-in of your family. So there always has to be a family goal. When mom and dad do this, we're going to go to Disneyland, or we're going to go to Disney World, or we're going to go to a skate party or whatever. Put that picture up on the board so kids know, hey, when mommy and daddy are not here, they're not here because they want to take me there. You have to have everyone's buy-in. There's no reason, if you're a frustrated business owner, you're doing 10 million things wrong.
Wow. Okay. I'm starting to feel really guilty, girls.
Me too. Cher's song, "If I Could Turn Back Time," started playing through my mind. There's a million things that I would do different. And I think that a lot of these points really speak also to people who are first stepping into entrepreneurship and how they have the opportunity to do all of these amazing things and plan and bring their families in for buy-in and put that pretty picture on the wall of the island or Disney, like you say. So this is great for anyone who is considering stepping into entrepreneurship, and a great reminder for those of us that are already in it.
And just so you guys know, I bought a ton of Build-A-Bears in the early 2000s. Okay, I think my daughter got a Build-A-Bear every week. Mom was doing something. I was at Build-A-Bear, but that was the trade-off. When mommy's on the phone, mommy's working, mommy needs you to be quiet. She was 3 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Go, just give mommy 30 minutes to an hour, and then we'll go to Build-A-Bear. So I did a lot of Build-A-Bear and a lot of Chick-fil-A, but you know what? It paid off. She has a firm with her name on it that she can step into the next 5, 10, 12 years. And the last thing I want to say is your legacy is not what you leave behind. Anything you leave behind will die. Your legacy is a light that continuously shines into a future you may or may not see.
Beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful.
Beautiful.
So, Nicole, how do people get hold of you if they want to learn more about your services and your books, of course? How do we learn more?
So professionally, they can go to the firm's website. It's madisonbrothers.com. That's spelled out MADISON Brothers, BROTHERS.com. Remember, Madison Brothers, like Toll Brothers, Warner Brothers, Hasbro Brothers, Christian Brothers. If you want to find me, my name is Nicole Michelle. That's NICOLE. Michelle, MICHELLE.com. The reason that's important is because Nicole Michelle is my personal website and Madison Brothers is my professional.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for spending time with us today.
Thank you. I so enjoyed it. I feel so excited and cheated at the same time. I'm like, it's already over.
I know. It's amazing how fast it goes. We're going to have you back, Nicole. Down the road, we'll reach out. Really appreciate you. And those of you listening in today on the Franchise Woman podcast, where passion, obviously, Nicole's passion and purpose have collided, profits are made, and relationships forged. We'll see you next week on another episode.
Thank you so much. Have a good week. Bye-bye.